Emma Leni Benye Onile Loko. Esiku Dede Asiko Yi. Hello everyone, it's Adirunke again. I hope your day is going well. Today I'll be addressing the word Arere. It's very popular in AfroLatinidad Orisha songs for Ogun. I wouldn't even say just Cuban ones. It's in the Brazilian ones. It's in the ones from Trinidad and Tobago. It's actually pretty popular. So I'd like to explore what it means, especially in relation to the video that I published recently. The one on Ogun Arere, Ile Bobo, Logun. I explored two renditions of the song. When I was drafting the presentation, I had two things in mind when I saw the word, and I should have spent more time with it. I truly regret not doing that, just skipping over that first line because I thought it seemed obvious enough. It was either Arare or Arere. Member or inhabitant or resident of a place is called Ara. So if I refer to you as Arabiri, for example, and not Obiri, it's probably because we live in the same community or the same town or the same city. We're a member of the same place, we're inhabitants of the same place, we're residents of the same place. That binds us. Even if you no longer are, you used to be. We used to reside in the same community. A member or inhabitant or resident of a place is called Ara, that place. So Aralu, a member or resident of the town. Arale, a member or resident of the household or the neighborhood. Ara or no, a member or resident, or well, that one would be people that you meet on the way. Arale, ara no, people that you're not as familiar with. It could be acquaintances, but you typically meet on the same route. Ara, member, inhabitant or resident of a place. So there was that, and then there is Are. Re is to go to a place. More oja re, no to go. So Are is what we call wanderers or strangers. If you're not a resident, well, you could eventually be a resident, but if you're not from a place, especially back in the day, and you walk into a town and they're hospitable towards you, they give you food. Sometimes not necessarily, it depends on the town, and it depends on what state you're in. They may take you to the Bale first, maybe the Oba. They would have taken you there, and then you would have had to state your mission, especially for towns and villages that did not receive that many visitors too often. Again, this was a long time ago, but the point is Ari is wanderer or stranger. Now, pronunciation wise, it is very obvious that Ari, Arere sounds closer to Arere than Arari does. Arare, Arere, Arari, Arere sounds close, but Arere definitely sounds closer. Arere, wanderer or stranger of Ire. But then what happened there, and I have to tell you, especially now that I've been called out, I was thinking, why would the fact that Ogun was never really a native of Ire? It was hungry, it walked into the place, they gave him palm wine, they gave him food. He loved the place, the people were just so hospitable. He just loved the place. I don't quite know why. I think besides the people, it just felt really good there. So he decided to reside there for a bit. And then after a while, it became like I'll get there. I shouldn't get ahead of myself. But my thought was, why would the mention of Ogun, not being an original native of Iri, need to be mentioned or even emphasized in this song? Like, what's the point? I wasn't thinking well enough because I was looking at the rest of the lyrics. I was like, Ogun Banile, Ogun Balono. We're discussing Ogun's supremacy. Why would Ogun, not being from a place, need to be mentioned? Like, why would... So I went with Arari and I just moved on from that line. I don't think I spent 2 minutes. Ogunde, Arari is what I went with, when it could have very possibly been Ariri. Somebody that is not from a place, that is a stranger in a land, that now turned out to be the one who presides over that land. Ogun Banile, Ogun Balono. Ogun presides at home, Ogun presides on the way. The presidency, The fact that Ogun presides, or the supremacy of Ogun, is mentioned. So it's very possible that it was used in the we're strangers in this land, but with the help of Ogun, because these things can be implied, with the help of Ogun, we will succeed in this land. We would gain some sort of control in this land. It could have been that. I wasn't thinking in that direction, because I should have thought, who are the people that were singing this song? First of all, they were strangers in the lands that they were in, and supremacy over a land is being mentioned. So it could very possibly be Arere. Not exploring that enough, the fact that it could have been Arere hindered me from exploring the fact that Arere was also a possibility. Roland had to tell me in the comment section of that video, because if I had thought it could be Ari, if it's Ari, then what's another word that sounds very much like Ari that it could also be? And that's Are. So I didn't give myself the chance to think outside the box. I tried my best to mention the other possibilities for the other parts of the lyrics, but this one, I didn't even give you any options, and I apologize for that. So Ari and Are are the two words that sound close to Are in Arere, in the Arere, word that you will hear. Arere, Arere. Those are the two possibilities. This definitely sound much closer than Arari. If we're looking at the pronunciation, if we're making the pronunciation the determiner of what it could possibly be, then we would be crossing Arari out. As a matter of fact, now that I've had time to think about it, Ariri. Arere. Are is president or commander-in-chief, and the position that an Are would have in a town many times could even be, depending on the town, equivalent or almost equivalent to that of a king, of a monarch even. In Oyo, for example, the Are Ono Kakanfo is very, very powerful. In fact, back in the day, and I don't know if that's still maintained, but back in the day, the monarch and the commander-in-chief, Are Ono Kakanfo, couldn't even reside within the same town. Like, one had to go live in the outskirts and protect the town from the outskirts, because the power was just, very high level of power. There's a popular saying, they would say, Arempe Olon Difa, Tifa ba foretare o forenko, something like that. Like, the Are is calling you, and you're telling the Are, and you're saying, I don't have time right now, I'm divining. If Ifa gives you good news, but the Are doesn't give you good news, like, what about that? They're so powerful. They could, you could even be murdered, well, killed, or, I don't know. But they were very powerful. They could determine who lived and who died many times, especially when the security of the town was concerned. People that are powerful like that, they typically wanted to, make them part of the monarchy somehow. Or people who were very, very wealthy. That's what they would do with many monarchs. When you were, I don't want to say a possible threat, but you have as much influence and power, or almost as much influence and power as the reigning monarch. They want to put you in their camp and give you a position. I think it's still something that happens today. When you have a lot of money or a lot of influence over people, they want to make you a chief or something, so that at least then you feel bad if you go against the monarch. You now start to use your energy to defend the monarch in the field that you're good at, So that used to happen. So Are Ogun very much became a president, commander-in-chief type figure that they would call on. Like, even after he left Ire for a bit, he made himself available to be called on. You can call on me anytime there's trouble, and I'll definitely be here to respond to you. So that was Ogun's journey in Ire. These three words pretty much summarize Ogun's journey in Ire. It was a stranger or wanderer in Ire at some point, Ari. And then he became Ara, especially when he started to live there. And it was just, the first person who met him apparently was a farmer. gave him food, gave him palm wine, and he decided that he wanted to reside there, loved the place. So Ara became Ara, a member or resident of the place. And then, being an already powerful person, people already knew that he was the warlord. He became commander-in-chief of Iri, a president type figure. In Nigeria, we call our president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. The two positions are somewhat infused, and that's because we no longer have the military government. So the role that would have been ascribed to a military head is infused in that of the president. These three words pretty much summarize Ogun's journey. However, when it comes to the songs, I no longer think, and I apologize, especially, I don't like to make mistakes because some people watch that video just once. I'd never have a cause to come back to it. So even if I've corrected something in the comment section or I've added something in the description, even if they come back, they may not see it. Talk less of the fact that they may not come back and give it a second look, because why would you? It's not necessary if you've seen something. So I'm a perfectionist to the core. I don't like to make mistakes. And I apologize for this one. I mean, I probably shouldn't put myself down too much and say a mistake, but I didn't let myself explore the many possibilities that this word could have had translation-wise. So when you hear those songs that have Arere in them, know that it's either Arere, wanderer or stranger of Iri, or Arere, president or commander-in-chief of Iri. And what it would be whatever the rest of the song states. So Ogun arrives, stranger of Iri. Every land is where Ogun presides on. Ile gbogbo l'Ogun wà, or Ile gbogbo l'Ogun bà, if that's the rendition that you're used to. Ogun lands on every land, or Ogun is on every land. Ogun bà nílé, Ogun bà lọ́nà. Ogun presides at home, Ogun presides on the road. Sort of a metaphorical way of saying Ogun presides everywhere. Ile gbogbo l'Ogun bà òde. Ogun takes over every land. So the being a stranger but eventually being a commander-in-chief, being very much in charge, could be one aspect of that song. But it's also possible that it's Ogun's supremacy already being emphasized from line 1, from the first line. Like, Ogun arrives, the commander-in-chief of Iri. Every land is where Ogun takes, or every land is where Ogun is. Ogun presides at home, Ogun presides away from home, is powerful and supreme everywhere. Every land is where Ogun... So it's both are noteworthy possibilities, at least more noteworthy than Arare. Definitely more noteworthy when you think about the rest of the lyrics in that way. So when you hear songs like that, I suppose you always have to listen to what it sounds like first of all, and it always sounds the same, Ariri. But more importantly, look at the lyrics, look at the rest of the lyrics and what they say. Listen to the rest of the song and try to think if it's not Ari that is being mentioned here, if being a wanderer or stranger in a place doesn't seem like what the composer would have wanted to emphasize, then it's very possibly Are. I changed the title of the video to Are. I didn't go with Are. Are was the idea that I considered before I went with Ara. I don't know, it could be and it may not be, but I went with Roland's idea because it sounded pretty good to me. Arere. Please note that for that video that I've already made, and the ones that I will make in the future, and the ones that you may come across when you listen to more of these songs. Are. It's one of the two. The rest of the lyrics will tell you which one it is. If you have any questions, concerns, or angry outbursts, please don't hesitate to let me know. Again, I feel really bad for not exploring this word enough before I publish that video, but I hope you learned something for other videos, especially the ones that I may not get to anytime soon. When you're listening to these songs and you hear Ariri, just know that it's either Ariri or Areri. Thank you for watching and for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.
Bàbá dúdú abẹ́ràwé ogún oníjà ara yìnrín nílé ní lóko ní àyìnrín ogun òkúkú ṣe é rí Ogun má jẹ́ ara yìnrìn rẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn tí ò tiẹ̀ gbọ́n tí wọ́n gọ̀ tinú tẹ̀yìn. Wọ́n ní bógun bá gbalẹ́gbòdò ó sì gboko lọ. Eléèmọ̀ tó gbalẹ́gbòdò lè gboko lọ́wọ́ ẹni aláwo lẹ́rí pàǹgbẹ́rù ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ àgbà. Ṣakínilé Ògún òrọ̀kin àgbẹ̀dẹ òrọ̀ bàbà. Ṣakínilé Ògún òrọ̀kin. Pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́ ooo ayé ń fẹ́ arógun mọ̀ ṣo ni ọmọ adáadókin ni ọmọ ní kí wọ́n ṣe ń nírè. Gbàjọ̀nà ni mo lólùfẹ́ Ọọ̀ni oko ojoojúmọ́ ní múndẹ́sù wọn lọ. Àìkí wọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ọọ̀ni ọgbọ́dọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ orí ọba kí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ ọ̀tá bẹ̀rẹ̀ bọ̀.